How's it going, Paint Night fam? It's me, Atla. Excuse the resituated view. We just had a birthday party for Barbara last night, and so the room is still a little out of sorts. So today, I'm going to share with you the interview that I had a few days ago with probably one of my oldest friends. I thought that this would be very interesting, and to be honest, I learned a lot from what I heard, even though I've known this man for almost 2 decades now. So, a little backstory. I moved to Utah when I was still in high school, and I didn't really know anyone at the time. So, what made the most sense to me was to go to places to meet people or to at least see something interesting, was music stores. So, I would go to this one in particular, Burt Murdoch. I'm not even sure if they still are around, but, anyways, at that time, that was where I'd go to hang out. And the guitar technician, Dave, he worked there, and he was just such a friendly, personable guy that it was impossible for us to just not get along. And ever since then, I would just go over there to hang out and play some guitars. And every time I needed any guitar or stringed instrument in general to be worked on, I would go to him exclusively. I learned a lot from him, and thanks to him, I definitely gained a lot of confidence in what I did. And still to this day, I play. But the insight from this interview was pretty incredible. I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for tuning in today.
We're rolling?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Hey, Dave.
How are you doing, my
I'm
friend?
doing great. Thanks
Good to
for
see you.
inviting me into your workshop.
You are
This is so neat.
You are so welcome. It's great to have you here.
Seriously, though, we go way back, don't we?
God, probably 20 years or at least 17 years. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, people come and go, but I mean,
It's true.
yeah, you're forever, my friend.
I know. And it doesn't matter how long a time we haven't seen each other. It's just still like we're still just friends.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter.
Oh,
Time and space doesn't matter.
I love it. I love it. So I want to know a little bit more about how you got started and all that kind of
So
stuff.
I used to own a music store down in Provo back in the early 80s and late 90s called Herger Music. And when I first started there, I was just a greenie. So I trained under a lady by the name of Miss Herger, who had started the business in 1941.
Really?
And, yeah, so I started there in 82, ended up buying the store from her in 88. And then when the internet hit, it just killed 3 of the major stores in Utah. Anyway, I won't go into that. There's a whole many reasons. But anyway, so I closed it in 99. Well, you had like a big store in Salt Lake at the time called Mars, which wasn't there for very long, but they came in and they were selling guitars for less than I could buy them for.
Wow.
And then Guitar Center came in, and it shut down actually 4 of us. It was me, a place called Progressive Music in Salt Lake, Guitar City, not Guitar Center, Guitar City, and Progressive Music, and we were the 4 biggest. Oh, and Wagstaff Music. So we all closed within 6 months of each other because these guys were just undercutting us so bad, and there weren't any protections in place. Now there's protections, like what they call MAP pricing, minimum advertised price. So we can't advertise it for less than what the manufacturer tells us.
Right.
And back then there wasn't that because the internet was brand new.
So it was like the Wild West.
Yeah, it was the Wild West. It was a free for all.
That's
yeah,
crazy. I didn't even know that.
Wild West. That's a good way to put it. It was. And so it just killed us all. So I ended up going, but because I had Hergers, I also had to learn how to do guitar repair. And I just had to learn to do it just off the cuff. So back then there wasn't the internet, so I had to go to the library and check out books and read books and figure out how to do stuff. And I started working on my own guitars so I wouldn't screw up somebody else's guitar, so I would experiment on my own guitars. And luckily I never screwed up my own guitars either. But just started doing basic restrings and, nut replacements and lowering the actions and straightening the necks and just simple stuff like that. But as time went on, had to get into more, complex stuff like, re-gluing bridges and doing fret work and level and dressing frets and replacing nuts and gluing braces underneath. So I just ended up having to learn to do a ton of stuff, you know, and I've done it for 42 years now and I love it,
Yeah,
you know?
obviously. You're literally my one-stop shop when it comes to getting any of my instruments being worked on, at least string instruments.
Right.
Because, I mean, you've worked on guitars mostly, that's your specialization, but you've worked on like
Mostly.
dulcimers and like
Well, and
violins
I
and
trained
stuff.
under a violin maker. I worked at Summer Hayes Music in early 2000s. When I closed Herger's, I went to Summer Hayes Music
I remember Summer
and
Hayes.
worked under a violin maker by the name of Devon Hokanson. And he trained me for a year in violin, not in violin making, but in repairing violins.
Why does that
And
name
all
sound
that,
so familiar?
transferred over to guitar repair too, because they're so closely
Right,
related
yeah.
as far as how they're repaired. Not exactly, but they're still learning that skill helped me with guitars. And so that was awesome, learning under him for a year. And we worked on tons of violins. Like Bryant Summerhays would get in 100 violins from China and would have to go through and shave the necks and make sure the necks were right and set the bridges and set the sound posts and just do all that stuff so he could get them up for the school years, because he did so many school rentals. So that was fun to learn that, and that just applied to guitar, like I said. And then I trained under a guitar maker, a luthier by the name of Ken Steika,
When was that?
who used to own a store down in Provo called the Great Salt Lake Guitar Company.
Oh, I remember that.
But he passed away about 12, 15 years ago of
Wow.
cancer. But he trained me for a long time and taught me a bunch of stuff about guitar repair too. So I don't consider myself a luthier because a luthier actually builds guitars,
Right.
and I don't build, I repair. I mean, I still like this guitar here, for example.
It's a beautiful
I
guitar.
put the pickups in and put the bridge on, and so I basically built this. But a luthier mainly builds acoustic guitars,
Right.
you know. So I put stuff together like this and all the electronics, and I can do all the wiring and setting them up and all that stuff. So which is still pretty technical,
Oh yeah,
but
especially when you get down to like the binding,
yeah,
that kind of
yeah.
stuff.
So I do that kind of stuff, and and I'm always learning. It's like I'm always learning. I watched a video a few days ago on how to do something. I can't remember what it was. Just it's like, okay, how do I? Oh, I was putting in a pickup, a specific pickup that I'd never put in before. So I had to watch the video on how to put this pickup in, and it's like, okay, I can do that. But
What pickup was
it
it?
was a LR Bags. What was it called? It had three microphones on it. Underneath, you had to mount these three microphones underneath, and it was really interesting how it went. You had this whole. In fact, here's the template for making sure you got them in the right position.
Wow.
Underneath, and so I had to watch a video on how to do that. So every now and then you have to watch it. Thank God for YouTube.
It's a
You
process.
gotta
Oh
watch
yeah,
it.
for sure.
But
Yeah.
not very often do I have to do that. I mean, this guitar here behind you, I'm re-gluing some braces underneath because it had some rattles, and found some loose braces, so I had to glue those. So those are sitting drying right now. So it's just, I do a ton of stuff, Replace some gears on a guitar today, a complete rewiring on a guitar today, put two pickups in for a guy, and did put all new potentiometers and capacitors in for him, and new pickups, and that's a big job, but that was fun. That kind of job's fun, because
Oh yeah.
you're rewiring the whole entire thing. You basically gut the whole thing out and then put new guts in it.
You're like the guitar Iron Man.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
I've got the helmet with all the little things on I
Right.
can see.
Get the blowtorch. Not just joking.
Yeah, that's so
But
funny.
that is super interesting. Most of this I didn't know about you. I wasn't expecting this, that you
I-
didn't have a mentor necessarily
I
at
did.
first.
Well, I had a guy by the name of Jeff Ellertson who started training me at Herger's, and he knew how to do setups. I mean, he was really basic,
Right.
but he was able to show me like on a Fender Stratocaster where to set the action, how to set, how high it should be, and how to set it, and how to set intonation. And so he was the first one that really taught me like about intonation. So the string played in tune all the way up the neck, And I didn't know anything about that. So he was the first guy that kind of taught me that. And he's still around. Him and I are still friends.
Wow.
He's lives up in Logan. We stay in really close touch with each other, so it's been a really fun friendship. And he and I had a blast at Herger Music. We had so much fun. Oh my gosh, we had so much fun. We never did anything bad. We just had fun, you know. And we
Right.
did our jobs, but
Right.
we had fun together.
Yeah.
It was awesome. So yeah, he was the first one that kind of got me started in the whole thing and showed me some things, and then it just got deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. I had a guitar in last week where a girl had fell in on her guitar and broke out.
Oh
The
wow.
whole side was separated. You know, the whole back was all separated. So I had to take like 16 little clamps that go around, like these clamps. They're long and skinny. And you have to, and I had all those around, you know, to re-glue the back, and that was fun. That was a fun little project.
And that was an acoustic?
That was an acoustic.
Wow.
Yeah. So you took
That's
clamps
very extreme.
these,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know, and you put it up on the side and you pull it together and then you just tighten it down. And I had like
A
10
box
these
of them.
all the way around.
That is a very groovy story.
So
And that's something that you would say is kind of a, I wouldn't say regular, but that's more or less what you'd expect.
yeah, yeah. And like that guitar right there that I haven't started yet, the headstock is broke off on that one. The whole headstock is just,
Yeah.
and it's in really bad shape, but I'll be able to glue it back together and piece it back together and make it playable. He'll still see it, but it'll be smooth and playable and solid, you know.
Nice.
And so I do a lot of headstocks. There's a lot. This, you know, where it breaks off right here.
Yeah.
So common because you've got about 350 pounds of pressure pulling on here all the time when the strings are tuned up to pitch. And if it gets knocked very hard, it's going to just snap.
It's a goner.
So I see a lot of those. They can't be repaired. And it's like, yeah, we can repair that, you know.
Yeah. I mean, you can pretty much fix almost anything.
Almost.
Almost.
It depends on the break. Like I've seen some of these where they're broke straight off and you can't get anything to clamp. You can't, there's no way to
It's
get
like
the clamp
too
on them.
clean.
So it's too clean and you can't fix
Yeah.
those. Unless you went in and drilled and put big pins in, which I don't do, but
It would just be
probably
too
somebody
much.
could do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beyond my skill.
I don't think anything's beyond your skill.
Actually, there are things beyond my skill.
I've seen you do some pretty amazing stuff, though. So I don't know. It's hard for me to imagine, but I'll take your word for
I
it.
can do about. I figure I do about 99.9% of the stuff I get in. I can do. The things I don't do is I don't do refinishing. You know, I don't refinish guitars, mainly because I don't have the booth. You know, if you refinish, you've got to have a spray booth with fans and all kinds of stuff.
Ventilation.
And you just don't. I don't have that, so there's no need. And I only get like 2 or 3 calls a year where people want to refinish, you know, so it's not worth doing something like that for 2 or 3 times a year, you know.
No, that makes sense.
Getting all the equipment, so it's just like there's no reason to.
You have more than enough work here when it comes to most of what you're doing or most of what you're prepared to do. And like you said, whatever you're not, you're willing to look into it.
Absolutely. And I stay really busy, you know, I do.
Yeah.
I mean, there's times when I'm not very busy. The last few weeks have been slow, but then the last few days have picked up again. It's like, okay, so it's like this. I mean, they're feast or famine.
Yeah.
You know?
We are getting around the holiday season.
Yeah.
I could imagine it gets pretty crazy around that time.
Well, it's been interesting since COVID. I mean, I know COVID was like 5 years ago, but since COVID, I see more weird stuff than I've ever seen. Like, everybody goes up into their attic and digs out the old guitar that Grandpa used to play.
That's cool, though.
You know, and most of those, though, are junk. I mean, people think, oh, it was Grandpa's. It must be worth a ton of money. And occasionally, you get something that's like, oh, wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
You have any idea what you actually have? And people usually don't know, you know. And I'll tell them, it's like, it's like that lady out there just now. She had a really old Guild. And it's like, that's why I wanted to tell her. That guitar's worth some money. You know, she didn't know. She had no idea.
Was it like an old 12-string?
No, just an old Guild 6-string, little small size, like a triple lot.
I'm so used to the 12-string Guilds, so that's...
Yeah,
I just assumed
I played, too. Yeah. I played 12-string Guilds for years.
Yeah, that's super groovy, though.
So, yeah, occasionally you get something that, you know, like somebody's got an old Gibson or something that's worth a ton of money that they have no idea what it's worth. And you fix it up, and it's like, this is cool. But I also get stuff that's just like, everybody thinks because it was Grandpa's and it's old that it's worth a lot of money, and that's just not the case. there's a lot of junk out there. But there's also some really cool stuff. People will find stuff in the attic or down in the cellar or whatever. And it's sad a lot of times because it's been sitting in those areas. It's either super hot or super humid, depending on what part of the house it's in. A lot of times there's damage done to it, but usually we can make it at least playable, you know.
There's a lot of newer technology that's coming around now that is supposed to eliminate a lot of those issues.
Yep.
Stradi's guitar, it's European, and they make guitars out of a type of composite polymer-like material
Yeah.
that's very resonant.
Yeah.
And apparently you don't have to worry about it warping or anything
Right.
like that.
Right. There's a company actually in Provo called Close, Klos, that they make composite guitars.
That's out of Utah?
Yeah, out
I've
of
heard
Utah,
of them
it's
before. I
Close.
didn't know that was
In fact,
here.
Ben, you worked for them for a while, and
Wow.
they're carbon fiber, and they're really cool guitars.
They are.
And the cool thing about carbon fiber is if you get a full carbon fiber, that carbon fiber neck also, I mean, you don't have to worry about temperature. You don't have to be. You can get them wet. They're basically indestructible. So they're like the perfect travel guitar,
Right.
And so
If you're looking for like the perfect tone, maybe not.
maybe
but
not,
like,
but for traveling,
yeah.
and you put a pickup in it, and if you're on stage, you don't care really how it sounds because all you're hearing is the pickup. Audience is just hearing what's coming out of the pickup anyway. They
Yeah.
look really cool. So
It is true. They do look.
they're a little
pretty rad.
pricey, but they're really cool guitars. There's a couple companies that make carbon fiber guitars, but
Yeah.
Close is one, and they do a really good job. Ben worked for the company, and he worked on a machine called a Plex. What's that machine called, Ben? The what? Plec.
Plec.
So it would plec all the frets, which levels out all the frets, and it's a pretty cool process.
That
Like
is pretty
Sweetwater,
rad.
if you want your guitar plecked, they charge like $300 extra to have it plecked.
Jeesh.
So,
I
yeah.
didn't know that.
I laugh because they're in Indiana, and any guitar that comes to Utah after 2 weeks will adjust to the Utah weather
Mhm.
and needs to be readjusted anyway.
Right.
Because so it doesn't matter if it's been plecked because it's going to move. And a lot of times I have to go in and do fret work, level adjust the frets myself.
Especially
manually.
if it's
Yeah.
from another country or something.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Utah, the joke for Utah is guitars come to Utah to die. Because
Wow.
it's the second driest state in the nation.
Yeah.
Super dry. And so you have to humidify everything all the time. And a lot of people don't. They buy a guitar and they don't buy a humidifier. We try to sell them humidifiers and they just think, oh, you're just trying to upsell me. Like, no, you
No.
don't understand. I'm trying to protect your guitar. And then they'll bring it in 3 months later with a big crack down the center. It's like, I told you.
Yeah.
I told you, Utah's dry. You
Right.
know?
Yeah, it's worth the money, and the humidifiers usually last like
22
forever.
bucks. I mean, it's $22 for humidifier, and you fill them up with distilled water once a week. It's a simple process.
Yeah.
And it protects your guitar. It's great.
Especially because the extended range guitars are really big now.
Yeah.
And I mean, we were talking about like problems with heads breaking off and
Right.
stuff, and one of the reasons why I play headless is because of that.
Right.
And because it's smaller, it's easier to carry around and all
headless
that kind of
guitars are
stuff.
wonderful.
But I also play extended guitars or extended range, so like 8-string and whatnot. Because you have so much more wood, you have so much more potential for it having warping issues or cracking or
Right.
any types of
Right.
issues like that.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
Absolutely.
it's even more of a thing to keep in mind when it comes to humidity and temperature control and all that kind of stuff.
It absolutely is. And people will call me and say, I'm traveling to Missouri. What do I need to do? I'm just like,
It's like the opposite.
take the humidifier out while you're back there and just let it do its thing. And then when you get it back, put the humidifier back in and watch it.
Yeah. Because that's a contrast if I ever heard
Oh,
of. Yeah.
That's why I say it. Missouri like 90% humidity, and Utah's like 19.
Yeah.
During the winter, during the summer it's about 30, which is
Yeah.
okay, but still, guitar should be humidified between 40 and 50%.
I didn't know that it was that high.
Yeah.
Wow.
40. We keep our Taylor room at between 40 and 50% all the time.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, now we know.
Yeah,
Now we all
so,
know.
Yep.
I wanted to get a look at what you're working on, what your process is. You don't have to give any trade secrets or
Oh
anything,
no,
but
there's
like,
no really trade secrets to do. This guitar right here, this guy, I put this together. The guy built the body. This guy, his name's Art Coombs, and just a super good guy. And he builds the bodies, and then he brings them to me, and we put in all the electronics, put in the pickups, we put on the necks, and then this guitar, I told him when he built this one, I said, you know, Art, great guitar, great electronics, but the worst part is the neck, and the neck's the most important part. So he has ordered new necks, which I've got over there, right behind that.
These ones.
And one of those is going to be traded out. I've got 3 guitars up here, and those are Warmoth necks, which are about $600 necks just for the necks, each one. And they're compound radius necks, so as they come up the neck, they flatten out, which makes it easier to bend. When you're bending, you don't fret out.
I didn't know that.
So that's really cool. And then this guitar here, I'm re-gluing braces underneath. I just can't see what I'm doing, but I've already re-glued the braces. They've just got to dry till tomorrow.
Right.
And then this little guitar, this is the fun one. This is a Baby Taylor, but this guy's daughter dropped it. So I'm gonna be re-gluing that, and there's more.
We were talking
more
about
wood pieces in here that I got a piece in.
Okay.
To get it all fit, but it's gonna go back together actually pretty nice. As you can see, it's gonna lay down pretty good.
Yeah, it's
once
not
I get it clamped and get everything in.
It's not a super bad break, and then on top of that, it's not like ultra clean, so it should be able to set pretty well.
And once I piece it in, I can fill stuff in with super glue too and scrape it smooth, so it'll be nice and smooth.
Yeah.
But it'll be solid. It'll be solid as a rock when I'm done.
I mean, it's a beautiful guitar.
I do a lot of that kind of stuff. It's amazing how many, I know we already talked about this, but how many broken headstocks I get.
Thank you very much for giving us that bit of a rundown.
You're so welcome.
I know that you started this profession because you were a musician initially.
Yeah.
And from what we've talked about, you do play still.
I do play. I started playing when I was 8 years old.
Wow.
So I've been playing 60 years because I'm 68. And when I was 12 years old, I did my first live show at a baseball field for a radio station that was in Provo at the time called KFTN Radio. I mean, they're long gone.
Shout out to anyone who listened to that radio station.
And that was a long time ago because I was 12. And the first time I got in front of people and played in front of this little microphone and with my little guitar, and I was 12 years old, and I sang Blowin' in the Wind by Peter Palmieri.
Oh, nice.
And first time I played live, and it was just like, it was such a rush for me. It's like, okay, I have to do this more often.
Right.
And of course, then I didn't really start playing in restaurants until, I played little parties and family things, when I was younger, and for grandma and grandpa, and, all that stuff. But when I was 19, I started playing at a restaurant in Orem, top of Orem Hill, where the sushi place is now. It was called Old Dan Tucker's. And I played there for 3 years, and Friday and Saturday nights, and just went from there. And I played hundreds of places, and I played all over the country. I toured for 8 years with playing Christian music for 8 years. Played in a rock band and played bars for about 15 years, and playing classic rock. I played in the bluegrass band with a guy by the name of Jim Shoup. He's passed away, but he was the uncle to Ryan Shoup, if anybody knows Ryan Shoup and the Rubber Band.
That sounds super familiar.
Yeah, fantastic musicians. The whole family is just, every one of them is talented. And then I played with another fiddle player by the name of Eric Burt for a long time. I've done trios, and I played tons of restaurants. But the restaurant I'm at right now is called the Grub Steak Restaurant, and it's in Park City, in Prospector Square. And I've been there for 42 years come February.
Wow.
42 years. More than half my lifetime I played there.
That's more than most people can boast.
I've been through 7 owners. Cool. 7 owners, 200 and something managers. We lost count at 200 and something managers. But it's just, and a lot of the wait staff has been there 15, 20 years also. You know, so
Nice.
it's like family.
Wow.
The chef, Brian, the chef, I played for his wedding 37 years ago, and played for his brother's wedding 2 years later, and he was also like one of the chefs, his brother Greg, but he's no longer there. And then I played for his daughter's wedding 4 years ago, and he's been there 3 years longer than me. So I've been there 42 years. He's been there 45 years, and he's still there. And him and I went four-wheeling together this summer, and
Nice.
we're just really good friends, you know.
That's really
So
cool.
it's really cool, and his family, and I love them, and they're just wonderful. I remember the night that he met his wife. So anyway, they're good people.
Yeah.
The whole place is good people. You know, the whole place is just great. So
Yeah. Let us know if you want to see some of his live stuff, and we'll have to go down there and bug him sometime.
yeah, do come up. The steaks are fabulous. They aged their meat for 42 or 47 days
I
in
mean,
some
that's
special cooler.
That's one reason to
And
go.
it's not cheap because it's Park City, but it's worth it.
I've always been curious about dry aged meats, anyways.
Yeah.
But the main reason why I would go is to see you, though.
Of course. Well, thank you. Yeah, the entertainment's great too. Just
Yeah. Would you be willing to play a little ditty?
Sure. I'm not warmed up, but we'll play something anyway. Put on my battle
Ooh.
gear. I play with 3 finger picks and a thumb pick.
Nice.
That's the only way I can play. I played banjo for a long time, and that's where the finger picks came from.
Whoa.
This is one of my favorite guitars. We just got this.
The Taylor?
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and give you a little bit of room.
Like I said, I haven't warmed up yet, so forgive me.
You're
My
fine.
fingers aren't quite as accurate as they should be. This song is called Darcy Farrell. I won't play the whole thing, but where the Walker runs down to the Carson Valley plain, there lived a maiden, Darcy Farrell was her name. The daughter of old Dundee, and a fair one was she. The sweetest flower that bloomed for the rain. Her voice was as sweet as the sugar can be. Her touch was as soft as a bed of the down. Her eyes shone bright like the pretty lights shined in the nights out of Yarrington town. That's enough.
Bravo. Bravo.
Anyway,
I
that's a cool
love
song.
it.
Thank
I
you.
love it. That was
that's what I do.
incredible.
That's what I
Wow.
do. I do a lot of folk, a lot of country, just a wide mix of stuff. You know?
Well, so if someone wants to learn more about what you do when it comes to maintaining guitars or when it comes to listening to you live, what are some good outlets for them?
Well, I don't really have a lot of social media stuff. I mean, I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. They can reach out to me there. David Heslington. I have some videos up on YouTube under David Heslington. Nothing fancy, just some basic stuff like just right now what I'm doing. Or they can come see me here at Best in Music. We're in Orem, Utah, 800 North, Best in Music, and this is where I'm at. They're welcome to come in here and talk to me and just, give me a call here. And there you go.
That was splendid. Thank you so much for your time,
Dude, you're
Dave.
so welcome. Thank you.
I treasure our time together, and this has
Absolutely.
been a blast.
This has been fun. Thank you for having me.
I'm surprised how much I didn't know about a lot of this. This is
Oh,
amazing.
just fun stuff.
Yeah,
Fun
for
stuff.
sure.
You're awesome.
So are you, my
You're
friend.
awesome.